This is my submission for Task 2 of the Designing for Augmented and Mixed Reality module. This AR app runs on the Meta Quest 3 using Unity 6 and the Meta building blocks, specifically the pass-through block. I'd like to note that the assets seen in this video have been made by either myself or Jack, whilst the code for the application was solely created by myself. For this project, I covered a wide range of roles, ranging from being one of the project leaders, creating minor assets, converting one of the 3D scanned Golek into a fully functioning 3D character, creating all of the code and scripts for the application to run, and then sourcing and editing the audio that is featured in the stage mode of the AR application. Originally, my role was to only be one of the team's 3D artists, yet I took on the role of the group's lead coder to push my own boundaries further. For the catalog mode, the intention was to create a model viewer that allowed the user to inspect and interact with a range of models. The user has the ability to freely place a pedestal in a location of their choosing, allowing for this application to be used in a variety of different areas that may have varying playable space. I designed this pedestal to look like a stereotypical museum wooden plinth, given that the models featured in the project were scanned and modelled on the models seen in the Southeast Asia Museum at the University of Hull. The pedestal acts as a fixed location marker for the models to spawn upon, presenting each model in a way that feels more professional and respectful given the historical background behind the models. Once a model has been selected from the menu, which is opened upon pressing X on the left controller, the user can then interact with the model. When the model is on the pedestal, the scale and rotation of the model can be changed. The scale is controlled by manipulating the left thumbstick, whilst the rotation of the model is controlled by manipulating the right thumbstick. All of the models in the catalog mode house this logic inside of the prefabs, along with several other C# scripts. Another mechanic that I wanted to include for the catalog mode was the ability to have the model return to the pedestal if dropped. The user has the ability to remote pull the model towards them for closer inspection through the use of the meta interaction system, further considering the user experience within an AR application. Given the sometimes unpredictable nature of spatial tracking for augmented reality, whether using mobile or headset-based AR, there is a possibility that a model may drift beyond the play space and be unretrievable. Each prefab within this mode has the Smart Return and Align script, which prevents the models from drifting beyond the playable space when the model is released. Regardless of the last angle the model was held at, whether it was held on its side, upside down, or above the user, the model will always return to the pedestal in the correct orientation. The user can return to the main menu by pressing B on the right controller, which brings up a button to return to the main menu. This button is re-interactable and uses a script that has multiple scenes declared within it in combination with the Unity event wrapper to load the correct scene. For the stage mode, the intention was to provide a scene that would showcase the history and narrative behind these models. The models featured in this mode were chosen due to the historical background that was displayed at the museum on their information cards, allowing for an accurate audio description to be made. The placement logic for the stage builds on the same placement logic that was used for the pedestal, allowing the user to place the stage in a position of their choosing and scale it up or down respectively based on what they need. The models spawn from a similar menu as the catalog mode, with both modes utilising the use of the X button on the left controller to bring the menu up. The user is then presented with the option of choosing the left or the right spawn marker that is on the stage. The stage mode does feature some differences to the catalog mode, namely through animation and audio. By aiming the right controller at the Golek when it is on the stage and pressing A, an animation will trigger. If the user aims the left controller at the model and presses Y, this will trigger the audio voiceover that associates with the model.
This is a booter. an ogre character often seen in traditional wayang golek performances. The costumed puppets, golek, are made from carved and painted wood. Besides the two visible rods used for manipulating the arms, there is a concealed central handle that is used to move the head from side to side. The main traditional form of Southeast Asian houses are a rectangular building on piles or stilts with a steeply pitched roof. The form is admirably suited to the riverbanks and jungle environment, and also helps to create good ventilation in humid areas. In Vietnam and Java, the main form is also rectangular, but built on the ground, probably through Chinese and Indian influence respectively.
For the voice, I used 11 labs, specifically using the voice Sophie Langford to explain the history and background of the models. Once the .wav file was generated, I took the audio file into Adobe Audition to ensure that the file was up to standard and would not be too loud or too quiet. Thank you for listening.